Hello everyone, Touhoua here. We're here at the final boss Annihilation for the game Remnant 2. So, spoiler warning ahead. You've been warned. This is going to be my end of the game review. I remember getting Remnant from the ashes, which I will call R1 from now on as to not confuse anyone who's never played a Remnant. I got it as a free game on my PlayStation 4 through the PlayStation Plus rewards and only played it for a bit, then gave up on it. I thought that a shooting Souls-like type of game could never work because how could you even see what is going on around you if you're constantly aiming down sights? Or how about when do you know to dodge or where to dodge? I had so many of those thoughts when I was playing R1 back in the day. As I started my journey through R2, I realized that some of those thoughts still stand true, but not entirely. But here we are today with R2. As you can see, I made it to the end. And you know what? I think I gave up on R1 too soon. I mean, there are things I think Remnant could improve on. For example, the mini boss rooms. It's just a bunch of rooms with spongy mobs you've run into before, but with just more health. They don't even get new special abilities or anything. It's just more ads for you to kill. It's like a giant version of that mob, but with extra ads on the side. The thing is, it's not just this game that does it, but a bunch of other Souls like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, they do that too. So I'm not gonna give this game a hard time for that, but it is an improvement I would recommend for like a future installment. And since I'm already on the topic of improvements, I'll start out with the negatives of the game. I'll try to be as reasonable as possible. I think one of the things I did not really enjoy was the procedural generated rooms. Coming into this game, I thought it was going to be linear, so if I get lost somewhere, maybe I can look up a guide, but then I learned that all of the rooms you enter are randomly generated. So my playthrough of the campaign will never be like yours, it will be a lot different. My first room could be a short straight path with some enemies, while your first room could have a lot of enemy ads and some platforming required. It's also possible to die to a mini boss in that room and it will disappear after death. For example, if you find a mini boss in that room and you die, when you respawn, that boss may no longer be there. I understand that this procedural generated room type of play is like a roguelike and it does help with replayability, but it also adds to frustration when you can't get a rematch with that boss and you really needed the materials. I know I said I didn't really enjoy it, but let me say that it can also be a good feature though. Sometimes I'll get like 2 rooms back to back with mini bosses and earn a lot of scrap or rare materials for crafting. This game lets you re-roll campaign maps, so if you did not get to fight a certain enemy or you didn't get to find a certain room, you can choose to re-roll your current progress and reset it while keeping your weapons in inventory, which is like the best part of this feature I think, but it just sucks whenever you die, you can lose that boss and never get to fight it again. Alright, so I mentioned this earlier, but my thoughts about a shooter Souls-like was that it is hard to see what's going on around you and where the enemies are attacking you from. The game works great when it's a one-on-one fight, but when you start adding extra ads, extra enemies, it becomes super hectic. Especially with enemies that can shoot projectiles, it is difficult to see and dodge accordingly. I think I have died to the mob rooms more than I have died to the main bosses due to the amount of spam they can do. I'm not even joking. But honestly, aside from those 2 points, I really enjoyed this game though. It's been a while since I've played a Souls-like genre, and this was such a breath of fresh air. I had made complaints about the shooting, but after getting used to the controls, I think it works just fine. The third-person shooting allows you to see more of the environment around you, but I think allowing you more field of view. It doesn't let you control some of it, but it's not a lot. It will work better in the future, I think. The difficulty slider is questionable when it comes to difficulty. I played on Nightmare mode and it's the hardest you can play at the beginning. You have to beat the game first to unlock. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the hardest after Nightmare. But like at the beginning of the game, it was very brutal. I was stuck in the first room for like 2 hours because, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of enemy adds projectile spam. With the enemies being health sponges on Nightmare mode, I was always afraid that I would run out of ammo. But whenever you run out or whenever you're low on ammo, the enemies will drop that type whenever they die. So you rarely ever have to worry about ammo. You can also get a melee weapon, so if you do run out of ammo, you can switch to melee at any time to conserve ammo. It's actually a tip in the game to use melee on weaker enemies and save your ammo on the stronger ones. The variety of enemy mobs were decent in this game too. A lot of like small mobs to medium sizes. There were barely any big mobs, I would have to say, and the main bosses were pretty fair and pretty difficult to figure out at first, but once you understand their patterns, they can be easily taken down. In this game, you can crouch, slide, or jump off cliffs by using a slider at the edge. It's really interesting how this game incorporates all of that. So there are certain fights or certain bosses where you have to either crouch or you have to jump from cliff to cliff, and I thought they included those movements so well in this game. It's really, really unique when you do. You will see some of that maneuvering in this video. Another thing is there are a lot of unique job classes, weapons, gears, items, status ailments, status effects, so many things that you can use to your liking and to whatever your combination of what you're going to be. You can combine so many things to become OP. It's really cool how many customizations you can do in the game. I still haven't been able to test out all of the jobs and all of the weapons because of how expensive they can get, but it just adds on to so much content that you can try out later. If you plan to do another playthrough, another difficulty, since you can easily reroll campaigns in this game, I think it's really good for that. You just have so many choices and so many options, but it is really, really expensive to upgrade your items and your weapons and all of the other stuff. I just found out that this game also has multiple endings, but because this is my first clear, I haven't really done much research on how to obtain those endings, but that's another reason to do another campaign playthrough on the hardest difficulty now. There is so much to talk about in this game, but I highly recommend it. I'm late to the Remnant party, which I'm kind of sad about. The multiplayer aspect of the game has been a lot of fun too. You can join other rooms, or you can have other people join your room on your difficulty. It's really cool. I had a great time just shooting through hordes of enemies and figuring out the best weapon combination for my playstyle, my classes, and figuring out the bosses. I think the bosses were great in this game. But yeah, this game definitely has more positives than negatives in my opinion, and I think it deserves a pretty high score. A high 89%. Yeah, I had a great time with this game, guys. I might actually go back and try to play through Remnant 1, and Chronos comes before Remnant 1, so yeah, I might do a playthrough of those two. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Eradicate the corruption. The system must be restored.
Okay, what the hell does that mean?
It means wiping everything. Starting over.
Starting over? I thought we were trying to stop that from happening.
We have no choice. The root will destroy everything. For all time.
This is unexpected. I am reluctant to execute.
No. Keep. There's another way. Traveler! On me!
Clementine!